On to the main part of the video. First off, before I show you what you really want to see, I did get an Infinity Dragonoid here. This is Darkus, and this is obviously one of the BakuTech series. He's not an actual BakuTech though, like that you have the swappable pieces, but you know, he's part of the BakuTech series regardless. And you can see on the back just the typical stuff. It has Death Municus and Flare Dragonoid on the back there. So yeah, I just decided to pick him up because I was just curious if they were much different than the American versions as far as how they were made, since I felt that the other Japanese ones that I picked up before were kind of nicer quality. So I guess I'll see when I open this one up. And then we have Falco, who I think is very awesome looking. Try to get closer here on him. And here's his like swappable piece here. So we see Falco right here, and there's his little stats right there as well. And he's BTC number 11. So on the back we have Death Municus and Flare Dragonoid still, and then we have Falco down here. And just says top wing, head, legs, metal cross, and tail. I'm not sure which piece. I'm guessing it's one of the arm type pieces or wings that are swappable, but I guess we'll see when we open it up. That's kind of what it looks like. Anyway, why don't I set this aside, and we also have Kiran Leonis, and he is also a very cool looking Bakugan as well. Try to get that to focus in on him. There's his swappable piece, and here's the actual picture of him on the box. And his stats seem to be really leaning towards the right there, whatever those stats may be, and he's obviously BTC 08. So we see on the back here it has a whole head, nose, leg, wing. I don't know why he has a wing, metal cross. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same back aside from that. So why don't I open these guys up and we can take a look at them then. Alright, so starting out we have the Darkus Infinity Dragonoid. It's a silver gate card. It's called Deep Well, and it's 100 Pyrus, 120 Aquos, 140 Subterra, 40 Haos, 160 Darkus, and 20 Ventus. And then there's the blue ability card, same as the other Japanese ones. It has that cool show looking back to the ability card. And this one is called Silver Launcher number 1. It says 80 Pyrus and 100 Darkus. It has Foxbat on it. For effect, it says only Nova and Darkon can use this ability. You can use it during the battle. And conditions, yet again, it's kind of like that really bad English. It says your Bakugan will get judge points, Nova plus 80, Darkon plus 100. If you go into battle on Silver Gate card, you can get more judge point, Nova 160, Darkon 120. So I'm not sure what to make of it, but they're making it seem like you can get double these, possibly if it was on a Silver Gate card, I think is what they're saying. Anyway, as far as the quality of this, it's still got that whole metal to it, so it's got that heavier feel, just like how those American ones were for those super, well, what were they called? I can't remember now, the Super Assaults, whatever they were called back then. But anyway, definitely taking a look at it, it's got a lot nicer paintwork to it, and the plastic feels a lot nicer too. So I don't know if it's just the BakuTech series that are nicer made. I'll find out soon enough because I ordered some regular packs, so I'll see what those ones are like. But I think these are definitely nicer quality than the American ones. So why don't I open up Infinity Dragonoid here. And he has no manual parts at all, so he just opens all the way up. And I'm sure some of you guys have already seen this before, since he's obviously not new to the US, but he's 500G, and I think he's just really cool looking. I like how the head is like all wide like that, and how these arms come out with the wings. I don't know, I've never had an Infinity Dragonoid before, so I think it's cool that I picked one up. Not too much to say though, and like I said, I think the paintwork is really nice. Both eyes are perfectly painted, There's no like paint smearing over or half painted or thinly painted anything. So like I said, I think that's pretty nice quality. I don't know if maybe they actually make them there in Japan instead of having them made off in China or whatever, so they pay more attention to detail. I'm not sure, but like I said, I think they're definitely nicer quality. Closing them up, these bottom wings will fold in, then the arms close in, and then these top wings will fold down, and you kind of have to just push that head in and close it down. And that would be Darkus Infinity Dragonoid. Alright, so next up is Van Falco, and you can see right here is the gold gate card for Van Falco, and it's a pretty nice picture of him on there. 80 Pyrus, 100 Aquos, 60 Subterra, 20 Haos, 40 Darkus, and 80 Ventus. And what's kind of weird is that Aquos is the highest you would think Ventus would be, but whatever. Anyway, he also comes with an ability card. It's a red ability card. For some reason the red ones don't have the English on them aside from the name, so it's called Stealth Fighter. You can kind of see from the picture it's got Van Falco himself right here, and then him opened up in the background with kind of like the swirling wind and lightning. So it's a pretty cool looking picture, at least. I'm not sure what the ability card does, but why don't we take a look at Van Falco himself now. He is very, very nice looking Bakugan. The tail wraps around the top, and it's got that really cool design to it. And even his coloring is different than most Ventus Bakugan, be it the actual New Vestroia colors or the Gundalia Invaders colors. Kind of like a more of a dark, like forest green, I guess you could say. And you can see here's these metal parts on the side, and they are swappable with plastic parts. As I mentioned in a previous video, what's cool about these BakuTechs is, say you swap out one side with the plastic and keep metal on the other, it'll give it kind of a lean, so when you roll it, it'll kind of give it a turn to it when it rolls. And that's kind of what the idea of the BakuTechs is, it would seem. So, anyway, aside from that, there's that MG, and on the top where the Ventus symbol is, it's actually a really flat surface, and same with on the other side, it's kind of a flat circle, as you can kind of see there. So he's a really nice looking Bakugan on the outside. And why don't we open him up now? And you can see when he opens up, he's got this really long tail that comes out, which is pretty cool. And then on the back, all the wings. But the wings are not finished yet. You actually can pull out on each wing here, there's like an extra piece that comes out. They're kind of hard to get at, though. Try to grab it. Okay, here's one. Grab the other one, and then on these top wings he also has parts that fold out as well. So there we go, his wings are all opened up now. Take a look at him from the back again, and his face is very cool. And also what's nice is here's like little hands on each side, but then he's got like these like little look kind of be like might shoot out like lasers or missiles or something on each side of the wing as well. And kind of got some silver coloring on the back behind the head as well. And then he also has more of that design. It looks like possibly more like little cannons or something, just like little bumpy designs on each side here. So he's a really cool looking Bakugan. I'm not sure which one I like better, honestly, when you guys get to see Kiran Leonis. He's also really cool looking. But why don't we close up Van Falco, and he actually comes with instructions just like the other two did. So the first step, they say, well, obviously what you want to do first is close his wings back up the way they're supposed to be when he was in ball form. But what you want to do first is close these bottom parts, and then close in these wings. And then next, you're going to push the head down, and then close these top wings down over the head. And last but not least, the tail folds up and goes over top, pretty much kind of like Ingram does. The only problem is sometimes his head doesn't stay down all the way, so you kind of have to make sure you push down on that head. There we go. So now he's all closed up. So like I said, Van Falco, He's a very, very awesome Bakugan. If you can get your hands on him, I definitely recommend it. And last but not least here is Kiran. And before I get started on him, I forgot to mention G-Power for Van Falco is 560G. So anyway, first off we have the silver ability card called Lightning Refraction, and it's 120 for Pyrus, 140 Aquos, 120 Subterra, 180 Haos, 120 Darkus, and 140 Ventus, so they're all pretty high. You can see obviously it's a giant Haos symbol, but in the background you can kind of see a shadow of Kiran, and here he is in ball form as well. So it's a pretty cool looking card. And then we have the ability card. Yet again, it's another red one, so it doesn't really have English text on it aside from the name, but it's called Critical Reservation. And you can see Kiran in the background as well as the ball form here. And instead of having that swirling wind with the lightning coming down, this time it's got this really cool like beam of light. And yet again, though, it's still got that whole lightning effect going on. So it's a pretty cool looking card. But Kiran himself is an extremely awesome looking Bakugan on the outside. You can see right at the top here, it's like this black and gold up above the head. My camera really doesn't want to focus today. He has a swappable tail. This is the metal tail that I have on him right now, and his other tail is a plastic one. He does have stickers, which I've placed on both of them already. And what's cool about the metal tail is when you have this on, it continues the line, because the bottom of his body has got this metal that goes all the way across the bottom of him. So it kind of creates like this whole metal strip around his body. He's got that MG symbol as well. It's surrounded by the metal. You can see his feet are gold as well. And each side of him, he's got like these little black circular things, kind of like a mechanical look to him, as well as like the blue and the yellow. Just like really cool coloring on him. And the other side has the Haos symbol in the middle. So why don't I open him up for you guys? I open him up from behind, but anyway, taking a look at him, he's very awesome looking. He's got this whole mane. His head, you can actually open his mouth to get him looking a little bit cooler with a little roaring action there. And he's actually got some gold teeth in there and everything inside his mouth. His back feet, as I showed you, kind of had those like little circular things, as well as the front feet. And his tail is the swappable piece. He's also 510G, which is up behind his head here. But like I said, he's a very, very cool looking Bakugan, just like Van Falco. I really don't know who I like better. I think he's got cooler coloring to him than Van Falco, because Van Falco is mostly green. But I don't know, I kind of like that whole long tail and the wings as well. But they're both really awesome Bakugan, and I'd really, like I said, recommend, if you're into collecting Bakugan, these ones are definitely ones you should pick up. Again, he's also got instructions for how to close him up. So why don't I show you guys how you close them up. So first off, what you want to do, let me actually keep these open so I make sure I do this in the proper order. You close up his tail, and that'll actually stay closed. The next what you want to do is close up his hands, and you can see you kind of have to push that underneath his mane for the front ones, and just hold them because they won't stay in place, and the back feet will come up as well. And then these side flaps will come down, and that's what will lock the legs into place. So close those on each side there. And last but not least, you just kind of slide that top mane through the tail, and that will lock in. And then, well, you might want to close his mouth up, but you just kind of push his head down, and he's all closed up.